This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
Oh, man, we got a lot to get through. A lot going on this Tuesday before Thanksgiving. 55 days to go before Donald Trump takes office again. He's not wasting any time. Yesterday was a big day, a great day. Everything is turning up Trump. Special counsel hack, political hitman Jack Smith dropped the charges. Yes, it didn't work. They failed. Every single way they tried to stop Trump has failed. They tried to arrest him, indict him, bankrupt him, take him off the ballot. It has failed in every way, and it has cost taxpayers a fortune. I think between Robert Mueller and Jack Smith, the total is up to about $85 million for these witch hunts, for this election interference, and every single one of them is coming up empty. It's hard to believe if you think back a year, 2 years, that Trump is now sitting waiting to take office. After all they did, after every attempt they made to stop him, man, he is just stronger than ever. What didn't kill him, literally, has made him stronger. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm more optimistic than ever because I feel like he is, as I've said before, he has learned a lot. Robert Kennedy Jr. did an interview and he said Trump told him that he made a lot of mistakes the last time. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know who he was hiring. He has to fill 14,000 spots in the executive branch. And last time he went in blind and he hired people that just weren't right for the job. And he vowed to get that right. And I feel like he has, at least for the most part, he's getting it right. And yesterday was a great example of that. He's not in office yet, but he's making it clear what he's going to do. And what he's going to do is the right thing for the country. He made an announcement on Truth Social that he will impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico if they don't stop the fentanyl, if they don't stop the illegal alien invasion. This is why he won. This is what people want. Even the staunchest Democrat knew what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did was madness, opening the border, allowing illegal alien criminals to pour over the border and allowing fentanyl to come into our country and, yes, poison our people. Over 100,000 people have died each year under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. If you can't stop that, what's the point? If you're not going to do something about this, then what else matters? If you're not going to protect your own citizens from drugs and crime. Here's Donald Trump's Truth Social post from yesterday. Can somebody tell me why would you have a problem with this? He writes, as everyone is aware, thousands of people are pouring through Mexico and Canada, bringing crime and drugs at levels never seen before. Right now, a caravan is coming from Mexico, composed of thousands of people, seems to be unstoppable in its quest to come through our open border. On January 20th, as one of my many first executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the U.S. and its ridiculous open border. This tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion. Both Mexico and Canada have the right and power to easily solve this long simmering problem. We hereby demand they use this power, and until such time they do, it is time for them to pay a very big price. Okay, who's against this? Who would have a problem with this? Who wants to continue with an open border? I understand that Trump makes Democrats, makes people in the media, makes a lot of Americans. They feel icky. He's mean. He's rude. He's vulgar. He's He's not a nice man. He's kind of crude. But you want fentanyl to continue to kill Americans? That's the deal you're okay with? I'm telling you, let's just stop with Trump and just look at the policies. Forget the man. Look at what he's going to do. This is necessary. This is long overdue. We have to end the madness. It's over on January 20th. And until then, for the next 55 days, you know what Biden and Harris are going to continue to do? Bring in as many illegals as they can. That 3-month period where they closed the border and all the people in the media celebrated and said, oh, the numbers coming over the border, they're lower than they were under Trump. It was a stunt, a political stunt. Once the election was over, the border was open again and people were pouring in. Drugs were pouring in. And if Kamala Harris had won, we would see 4 more years of that. We would see 500,000 more dead Americans. The Biden and Harris didn't care. They were hoping most of them would vote for Democrats. That is the only reason. That's the only explanation for the insanity at the border. And thank God it ends on January 20th. I think we have to begin with a 2-year-old child. A 2-year-old. Does anyone remember when you had a 2-year-old child? Does anyone know any 2-year-old children? Do you know what they're like? Do you know how naive they are? Some of them aren't even potty trained. They don't know what they're doing. They depend on their parents. They depend on their family. They're not in school yet. They don't know anything yet. This on the screen right now is what Biden and Harris have facilitated. This is what's been going on for 4 years. According to Bill Malugin, 500,000 unaccompanied minors have crossed the border in the last 3.5, 4 years. 500,000 children with no parents. 2 days ago, in Eagle Pass, Texas, a 2-year-old girl crossed the border with a bunch of other, I believe there were 60 other unaccompanied children. Here she is speaking to a Border Patrol agent. They tweeted this out. The Border Patrol posted this. She holds up a piece of paper. She can't speak English, of course. None of them can speak English. And she tells the Border Patrol agent that her parents are somewhere in Texas. And we're going to worry. We're going to weep, AOC. We're going to weep over separating children and their parents. This child was separated by her parents and sent over the border with the cartel, with the coyotes. A 2-year-old. Play this. It's in Spanish, but it is unbelievable. This should disturb, infuriate every American, that this is what your president and your vice president and Alejandro Mayorkas have done for the last 4 years. This will continue for 55 more days, and then it will stop. That's all you need to know about Donald Trump and the new administration. This will stop. Let's hear from this poor 2-year-old child.
Venezuela, mamá. Venezuela.
Did you come by yourself?
¿Cuántos años tienes?
Sí.
2 años.
How old are you?
¿Tu
No.
mamá, papá? ¿No?
Did you come with your parents? No.
¿A dónde vas, mamá?
By yourself. Where are you going?
¿Dónde están?
With my mom and dad. Where are they? United States. She holds the piece of paper up, and then he says, where in the United States? And she says, Texas, in Spanish. She's got a little pink coat on. She looks, her face is blurred out. She's a 2-year-old. She's surrounded by 7, 8, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds with no parents, with no guardians. This is separating families. Where was AOC 2 days ago? Where was Liz Warren and Ayanna Pressley? Where was Chuck Schumer? Where was Kamala Harris? Was she still in Hawaii? By the way, she needed to wind down after a big defeat. We'll get to Kamala. Where was Joe Biden? Oh, that's right. He was rambling incoherently about turkeys at the White House. This is not what a decent moral country does. Encourages, welcomes 2-year-old kids to come over the border alone. How did she get here? 2-year-olds don't walk the Darien Pass. They don't walk, 20 miles, let alone 2,000 miles. Who did this? The NGOs that we give billions to? Catholic charities? Did they do this? Where'd they drop her off? Why don't we know this? Why don't people want to know this? Why don't we demand answers? God bless the Border Patrol. They're left to deal with a 2-year-old who has no parents, who has no adult siblings, or uncles, or aunts. They just put her on a path, tell her to cross into the U.S., and hold up a little piece of paper. She doesn't even know what it says on it. 2-year-old can't read. Just, hey, find my parents. So what do we do here? Do we find her parents and release her to her parents who abandoned her in Mexico to cross the border alone? Again, thank God Trump won. If Trump did not win, the people who made this possible, the people who facilitated this would remain in office, and it would continue. Is this 2-year-old gonna, pick our crops and clean our houses? I hear that from Democrats. Who's going to do all that work that illegal aliens do? Was she coming here to work and pursue the American dream? How does this? How is she not separated from her family? How do we reunite this child from these abusive parents who put her through this? All these kids, again, 500,000 kids, unaccompanied minors. And I don't see AOC weeping at the border. In fact, I don't see her at the border at all. We're going to hear about Trump's cruel, inhumane policies, immigration policies. We'll hear how mean he is because he wants to remove illegal alien criminals, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, gangbangers. We hear it every day now. The mayor of Tucson, Arizona, went on and on. Maybe we'll get to it, talking about how cruel Trump is for wanting to remove criminal aliens, illegal aliens. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, who wants to be president, says he's not going to allow them to remove his undocumented residents because Trump's mean and cruel and has no compassion. Is this compassion? What we're looking at? Is that compassion? A 2-year-old put in with a mob, with a crowd, with a caravan to make her way to the United States by herself? If this 2-year-old were with her parents at the mall and was separated for 10 minutes, the parents would be in a panic. They'd be screaming. They'd be run. They allow their own child to cross the border, to be in the custody of the cartels, to get over the border. We should find her parents and arrest them and deport them. That's what we should do. And you know what? We shouldn't reunite her with the parents because they are really, really bad people. Well, again, let's all feel good that this ends in 55 days, but it's not going to end till January 20th because this is the goal. Still the goal of Democrats is to import as many illegals as they can for the next less than 2 months now, for the next 8 weeks. God, it will never not be mind-boggling to me that 74 million people voted to continue this. They voted for another 15, 20 million illegals. They voted for more Jose Ibarras to come into our country. That's what people wanted because Trump, he's a mean old man. He's rude. He's crude. He makes fun of people. We don't like him. So let's have 500,000 more unaccompanied minors come over the border. Just absolute madness. Good day for Trump and the Trump transition team a great day. He's doing something. You know what he just did? The 25% tariff. Joe Biden could have done that 4 years ago and saved American lives. He could have stopped the fentanyl. He chose not to. Kamala Harris chose not to stop this poison from coming over our borders and killing Americans. Trump also threatened China, by the way, where they produced the precursor for fentanyl. So he's doing something, and he's not even president. I think we dodged a bullet. We really did. We dodged a bullet when we voted for this man and his policies. And hopefully, day one, this ends. No more 2-year-old children who, I mean, someone asked this morning, who's changing her diapers? Who's feeding her? Who's caring for her? Who's making sure she doesn't get abused at the border? Does anyone care? Do you care at all, Democrats? Do you care about this child, AOC? You're the compassionate ones. Maura Healey, do you care about this girl? Does she matter? Anyway, we got much more to get to here. That is just madness. And I mean, it's page 1 of the New York Post. Good luck finding it anywhere else. New York Times, Washington Post, NBC, ABC, CNN, Rachel Maddow, and Chris Hayes and Jake Tapper. They spent a lot of time talking about a 2-year-old baby walking over the border by herself. We hear from any of them? I doubt it. And by the way, do we hear from any of them that Joe Biden, this senile, feeble, frail, confused old man, is now talking about sending nuclear weapons to Ukraine? Anybody talking about that? That we are escalating the war in Ukraine to make it more difficult, if not impossible, for Trump to end it when he takes office? Does that concern anybody? We have a complete lunatic, a senile, crazed lunatic in the White House who seems determined to set the world on fire before he leaves office. And nobody's even talking about it. We're giggling. We're laughing. He's pardoning turkeys. Gee, he's pardoning turkeys. Why not Hunter? You're going to pardon a turkey? And let's pardon. How about we stop this lunatic from pushing us ever closer to World War III? That's happening right now. Right now. 55 days to go. That means 55 days for this fool in the White House to put us in position in a place where there's no coming back. And Trump, I'm no doubt right now is working behind the scenes to stop this, to stop his own president from pushing us toward nuclear war. We'll get to this. It's just insane. It's truly insane. Speaking of insane, we got so many Democrats, media people losing their minds right now. I'm not sure which upsets them more, the imminent peace or prosperity that's coming with Donald Trump. But they're not happy, and one of them is actually checked into a facility. Yes, one of these lunatics with Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to be in a quiet place. He's not on X anymore. He's in a sanatorium. He's in a home so he can get over his Trump derangement syndrome. We will get to that. And Tom Homan, the great Tom Homan, is at the border, and he has a deal for all those blue state mayors and governors who are vowing to go to jail to protect illegal alien criminals. We'll hear from the great Tom Homan and more. But first,
Excuse me.
want a better way to simplify finance operations for your business across expenses, vendor payments, and accounting? If so, Ramp could be a complete game changer. Ramp is the corporate card and spend management software designed to help you save time and put money back in your pocket. Ramp's accounting software automatically collects receipts and categorizes your expenses in real time so you don't have to. You'll never have to chase down a receipt again, and your employees will no longer spend hours submitting expense reports. Businesses that use Ramp save an average of 5% the first year, and Ramp is easy to use. Get started, issue virtual and physical cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. And now you can get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/Gerry. That's RAMP.com/Gerry. Cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Again, get $250 when you join Ramp. Go to ramp.com/Gerry. Joe Biden was at the White House yesterday. He was as lucid as ever. The purpose of his appearance was to pardon turkeys. You know, that's what presidents do on Thanksgiving week. It's a tradition, and Joe, you know what? He looks happy. He looks like very relieved that it's almost over. But this is an amazing juxtaposition. 2 stories. I got 2 stories about Joe Biden yesterday. One, turkeys. The other, nukes. We'll start with the turkeys. Why not? Here's Joe Biden in the White House. You know how we had an interpreter for the 2-year-old? We need an interpreter for Joe Biden. I have no idea what he's saying here. He's talking about the turkeys, I think, and how far they traveled to get to the White House. Did they really have to travel? I mean, you don't just grab a turkey somewhere in Virginia, a farm, or in whatever, Maryland, and bring it in. No. Here is, I think he's reading a teleprompter and making as much sense as ever. Here is your commander-in-chief yesterday. Go ahead.
According to experts, Peach weighs 41 pounds and loves to eat hot dish and tater tots and cross-country skis. You know, dreams to see, but the real dream he has is to see the Northern Lights, I'm told.
What the hell was that? According to experts, they weigh 41 pounds. So you need an expert to weigh it. And then he goes, tater tots and Northern Lights. Was that on the teleprompter, whatever he just said?
I can never tell because clearly he was trying to read and he was just like, tater tots.
And then when he gets lost, he just pretends to make a joke and they fake laugh. So the question was, and we'll get to the nukes, we'll get to the less important stuff. But the question all day after this was, he pardoned the turkeys. What about Hunter, the other turkey? And I find it amazing that they have this serious discussion. And there's 2 parts to this. One, and when they have all these like panels on cable news, will he pardon Hunter? And they say, well, he said he wouldn't. What does that matter? I'll say it again. Of course he will pardon Hunter. Why wouldn't he? Because he promised not to? We're talking about the biggest liar in the history of the presidency. We're talking about a guy who lies like he breathes. When he talks, he's lying. You think he cares that he said 6 months ago he wouldn't pardon his son, who's going to be sentenced next month? Of course he's pardoning him. In fact, I think I know when. My prediction is, well, one of 2 days. Christmas or Christmas Eve. That's when he pardons Hunter. And if he doesn't do it then, he'll do it on January 20th. Of course he's going to pardon his son. And the second question is always, should Trump pardon Hunter? What? Why should Trump pardon Hunter? Why would he ever pardon Hunter? Hunter belongs in prison. Prisons are full of people who committed less serious crimes than Hunter Biden. Anyone else, you, me, anybody else who did what Hunter did would be in prison already. In fact, we already would have served our terms and been done, but served our sentences. But why would Trump ever pardon Hunter Biden? Because all the great things, the nice things the Bidens did for him, the Bidens have spent 4 years, 8 years, trying to put Trump in prison, lying about him, from the Russia hoax to the Fine People hoax to the various election interference and the insurrection, everything else. Biden hates Trump. Biden wanted Trump in prison. Trump's supposed to turn around just out of what? Compassion and pardon a criminal a degenerate piece of garbage like Hunter Biden, of course he shouldn't pardon him, but it's a moot point. Joe Biden's going to pardon Hunter. Let's just stop with this nonsense about he said he wouldn't. All right, enough with the important stuff like turkeys and how far they traveled and the Northern Lights and tater tots. Was he trying to talk about like Thanksgiving dishes? You know, people say, what's your favorite dish? Well, was tater tot the name of the turkey? What did that even mean? Anyway, I got to stop. We're almost done with this incoherent old fool. We don't have to do this anymore. But this is a story that, just kind of went under the radar the last few days. And I mean it. I've been trying to find more and read more. You got to look hard. According to the New York Times, Joe Biden is considering supplying Ukraine with nuclear weapons. Yes, as we all know, Ukraine gave up their nukes. I believe they were the third or fourth most. They had the third or fourth most nukes in the world in 1993 after the collapse of the Soviet Union. They agreed to give up their nukes, and they did. And Russia agreed not to attack them. So Russia, violated this agreement. So now some in Ukraine want their nukes back. According to, this is a Ukraine website, RBC, they write, after Donald Trump's victory, the administration of current President Joe Biden is focused on helping Ukraine. This includes returning nuclear weapons to Ukraine, according to the New York Times. As reported, the U.S. is currently aiming to maximize aid to Ukraine. In particular, there's been a proposal to return nuclear weapons to Ukraine. Biden has authorized Ukraine to use ATACMS, long-range missiles, to strike in Russian territory. In addition, it was confirmed that Ukraine will receive U.S.-made anti-personnel mines. And he's considering, here it is, the Biden administration seeks to provide Ukraine with as much assistance as possible before Trump takes office. This includes $7 billion in weapons and ammunition from Pentagon stockpiles and an additional $2.1 billion for procuring new weapons from U.S. defense contractors. This is insane. This is immoral. This is absolute madness. And it's not even a big story. It's like, yeah, whatever. He's trying to help Ukraine. He's considering returning to them their nuclear weapons before January 20th. Why are we not talking about this? Why is every cable news show, why is it not why are we not concerned about this? Does anyone put this past Joe Biden? He has had a really curious interest in arming Ukraine for almost 3 years now. He has a really personal interest in Ukraine, and he wants to help them, give them, quote, as much assistance as possible before Trump takes office. Now, why would you do that? Just because you want to fight for democracy? You want to stop Putin from rolling into Poland? Or you want to make it much more difficult, if not impossible, for Trump to broker peace in that country, which he has promised to do. He promised to do it before he takes office. And who knows, maybe he's working on it right now. Maybe he's on the phone with Putin right now. By the way, Joe Biden has not talked to Putin in more than 3 years. He has never even attempted to settle this dispute, to end this war. He has no interest. All he wants to do is shovel more money to this corrupt country and keep the war going, keep the war machine going. All this money, the $7 billion in weapons and $2 billion for procuring new weapons, it says it right there in the story, from U.S. defense contractors. He wants to keep this money laundering machine going for 55 more days. And so what if it kills thousands of more Ukrainians and thousands of more Russians? We should all be, I don't care if you are a big pro. I don't care if you have a Ukrainian flag outside your house and you have Slava Ukraine in your bio on Twitter. You have to agree. This is insane. What we're watching right here. And if we had, and I don't know, just a stable, younger man, a lucid, coherent, stable man in the White House, I'd say, this is not going to happen. Does anyone think Joe Biden is making this call all by himself? There are people, parties, who have a real interest in escalating this war and making it impossible for Trump to end it. You know what would do that? A nuke from either side. Putin's already threatened to use nukes, and now Biden is threatening to provide Ukraine with nukes. And we're sitting here counting down the days to a new administration. I'm sorry. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that this is going to get really bad in the next 2 months. And there's only so much Trump can do to stop it. We are playing with fire. We are playing with nuclear war. And we have a man in the White House who's a bitter, angry, vengeful narcissist. And I do not put anything past him. And certainly the people behind the throne, people pulling the strings, despise Trump. They love war. They want this to continue. And we can't stop them. Hell, the American people voted against this. The American people don't want billions more to go to Ukraine in the next 2 months. And they're just saying, flipping the finger and saying, we're going to keep it going. We love Ukraine. We love war. We love billions going to our friends in the defense industry. This should be the only story, the biggest story, the only story that everyone is talking about and everyone is concerned with. Oh, yeah. Breaking news this morning. Russia launched 188 drones into Ukraine last night. Last night, 188 drones fired into Ukraine. It's going to continue until Trump gets Putin on the phone or Trump takes office. God, this is a scary time with a scary man in the White House. All right, I got to move. I got to get to the great Tom Homan. God, I love this man. I look forward to him. Tom Homan was in Eagle Pass. He was in Texas yesterday. He's there now, observing, witnessing the continued invasion for the next 2 months. He was appearing with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and he was up early this morning again in his camo hat, his barn jacket, preparing what he will do when he takes over. You know what's amazing is when you think back to what Texas has had to do on its own to stop, not just to fight the cartels, but to fight the Biden administration. They put up razor wire. The Biden administration sued them and cut it down. They used heavy equipment to remove all barriers, to move that barrier that's in the Rio Grande. The Biden administration fought a state that tried to stop criminals from coming into its state. That was your president. That's what your president did in the last 4 years. Fought states, tried to prevent states from stopping illegal immigration. That ends, obviously, on January 20th, but it continues right now. And Tom Homan was asked about the Denver mayor, this clown, Mike Johnston, who said he was willing to go to jail, just like Governor Maura Healey in Massachusetts said she will fight Homan and protect illegal alien rapists and murderers. The mayor of Tucson went on record, said she will stop the federal government from coming into her community and removing rapists and murderers and drug dealers. Democrats are all in on this, man. It is really illuminating. Here you have elected Democrats saying they will do anything they can to stop the federal government from removing the worst of the worst from their communities. And you know why they're doing it? according to the mayor of Tucson. They're doing it to make their community safer. Again, what Trump has done has forced them to just lose their minds to the point where they're making no sense. As J.D. Vance famously said, do you even listen to yourself? You want to make your community safer by stopping the feds from removing rapists and murderers and drug dealers. You want to protect them, and you do that ostensibly to make your community safer? What? Here's Tom Homan saying that the mayor of Denver, who says he'll go to jail, that they're on the same page because he's fine putting the mayor of Denver in jail. Listen to the great Tom Homan.
But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail because there's a statute. It's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III, and what it says is it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, the President Trump's been clear, we want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it.
He's so great. He's perfect man for the job. He's not going to care if he indeed has to take into custody some mayor or governor. The media will scream, they'll cry, they'll weep, and he will say, too bad, that's my job. So I'm really looking forward to this showdown. And I think there'll be a few Democrats who will want to be right there on the front lines and who are willing, I believe that, they're willing to go, they're not going to spend a lot of time in jail, but they're, like protesters. They want to sometime get arrested. If you're a Democrat, you don't worry about real consequences. You're not going to, like a January 6th, you're not like a grandmother who prayed in the Capitol for 10 minutes. You're not going to do hard time. They know it. So it's largely symbolic. So I think you will see maybe this squish, this Denver mayor, maybe it will be Maura Healey, who's been in an orange jumpsuit before. Don't forget, maybe she'll be handcuffed. I just sent you this Tucson mayor. Again, this is someone from Arizona who has a real problem with illegal alien criminals in her community, in her state. It's why Trump won handily in Arizona this time around, unlike last time. And you have a mayor of a big city, Tucson, Arizona, saying she's do anything she can to protect illegal aliens. And I understand that you have a lot of, Hispanic people. Maybe you have a lot of good and decent illegal aliens who are doing good work. But that's not where Tom Homan is coming for. That's not the priority. They're not going to arrest they can't. They're going to start with the criminals. And you know what? There's a lot of criminals. There's a lot of gangbangers, a lot of drug dealers, and they're doing a lot of damage in your community. That's who Homan is coming after. And they don't even differentiate. They just say, no, we're not going to cooperate. Watch this lunatic, mayor of Tucson, reading a teleprompter. By the way, she's reading a script, barely can get through it. Say she is going to she's going to make her community safer by stopping the feds from getting the criminals out. And she's going to do it in the name of, you guessed it, compassion. Go ahead.
Dear Tucsonans, as your mayor, I want to reassure every single resident that I am committed to do all we can to keep our community safe. I am deeply troubled by President-elect Trump's plans for mass deportation. I believe they are cruel and immoral. I will work with our police chief to make sure that our focus remains on protecting and serving Tucsonans. Here in Tucson, we know how to stand up and fight against hate and racist laws.
Hate.
Part of our history is coming together with our faith leaders and other organizations to protect children and families from separation. I am unwavering in my commitment to this fight. While we do not have specific details about how mass deportations will be carried out by President-elect Trump's administration, we do know that it will be painful to children, families, and our immigrant communities. We do not have the exact details as to when and if Proposition 314 goes into effect. We know that this hate-filled proposition draws from SB 1070, the Show Me Your Papers law. We are a compassionate state.
Oh, stop it. I've had enough. Compassion. I'm sorry. Do you think Laken Riley's family or Rachel Marin's family or Jocelyn Nungary's family, you think that it's compassionate to allow illegal aliens into their community? Do you think it was compassion that saw a 2-year-old child walk over the border unaccompanied? Was that compassion, lady? Really? Do you hear yourself? Compassion to make sure the drug dealers, the MS-13, the Trade de Aragua gang guys can stay in Tucson, to make sure they can continue to operate in Tucson. That's compassion. And to remove them is hate. These people have lost their minds. And it hasn't even begun yet. Her name is Regina Romero, and I can't believe people voted for this. It really is amazing. In Tucson, right there in Arizona, you elect someone who thinks it's compassion to protect drug dealers, rapists, murderers. These people are sick. That woman is sick. All right, we got much more to get to. Perhaps the best news of all, if you're a Republican, if you're a Trump supporter, if you're just a decent American, Kamala Harris is planning her future. And all I get to say is, you go, girl. She's thinking about running again. I think she has a goal, a simple goal. It's going to be her third time running for president. Her goal is to get one single primary vote. Hasn't got one yet. She's still young. She's still got time. We'll get to that and more. And oh yes, I promised you we got a winner. The meltdown to top all meltdowns. The one celebrity who couldn't handle Trump's victory and has now checked himself into a facility, a quiet place. We'll tell you who that is and more, but first.
Excuse me.
All right, small business owners, listen up. If you're tired of losing money to credit card processing fees, we've got something you need to hear. With 24/7 payments, you can eliminate up to 99% of those fees thanks to their fee elimination program. Here's how it works. You pass the processing fees on to customers who pay with credit cards, and in return, you can offer them a discount for paying with cash or debit. It's a simple, effective, and fully compliant way to save thousands every month. Right now, 24/7 Payments is switching over 250 businesses every month to this program, and they can have you set up in less than 24 hours. Call 855-504-0799 today or visit them on the web at 247payments.com. That's the numbers 247payments.com. Are your loved ones aging? Has walking become difficult for your parents, your grandparents? It's tough. I've been there. I know lots of you have been there too. Stairs can often be a challenge for them. It's also a significant risk of falling. Well, Lifeway Mobility, one of the largest providers of accessibility solutions, offers stair lifts, wheelchair ramps, home elevators, transfer aids, and bath safety solutions to improve safety, independence, and quality of life at home. Most of their solutions are made in the USA, and they provide professional installation and service. Gain peace of mind and help loved ones stay safe at home. Schedule a free consultation when you call Lifeway Mobility at 888-780-7923. They have locations across the U.S. with showrooms for you to see and test their products. They're also rated the best stair lift company by the National Council on Aging and by U.S. News, and they have over 6,000 five-star reviews. Call 888-780-7923 or visit lifewaymobility.com for your free consultation. That's 780-7923. While we were at break, just breaking Boston, Dateline Boston, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Removal Operation Boston arrested Jose Luis Castro Jovel, a 24-year-old Salvadorian national and confirmed MS-13 gang member. ERO Boston lodged an immigration detainer with Northampton District Court, asking for notification before Castro's release, but the court declined to honor it. The court in Massachusetts declined to honor the detainer request and let this confirmed MS-13 gang member go free. They rounded him up, arrested him, and he's in custody. That's your blue state, Massachusetts. Another gang member, another criminal. They're just doing everything they can to protect the worst of the worst. Speaking of the worst presidential candidate in American history, and I don't even think there's any debate, no discussion, Kamala Harris. She took a week off, went to Hawaii, spent a week at a $1,300 a night resort because, she grew up in the middle class and thought about her future, try to recover from her big defeat. And now Politico is reporting she's considering running again. I mean, I don't think this is real. Nobody wants her to run again. Would she require another $1 billion or $1.3 billion, which she spent in 107 days? Is that what she would need if she was going to run in 2028? According to Politico, Kamala Harris has been lying low since her defeat, unwinding with family and senior aides before heading back to the nation's capital. Privately, the VP has been instructing advisors and allies to keep her options open, whether for a possible 2028 presidential run or even to run for governor in California. As Harris has said in phone calls, quote, "I am staying in the fight." God, please, lady, run again. Do it again. We miss you. We need you. Oh, this is comical. Now, and you have Democrats. There's anonymous Democrats in this. Some saying they don't want her to run. Others saying, yes, do it again. I mean, why would any Democrat want her to run again? She was a colossal disaster. She was forced. She forced her way into the spot running after she forced Joe Biden out. And she turned out to be the fakest, phoniest, dumbest candidate ever. She totally went down in flames, and she wants to run again. She ran without any help in 2019. She didn't even make it to Iowa. She got 0 votes, 0 primary votes. She was polling at 1% to 2%. So what would be the argument for having her run again? She was rejected. What? When does it ever happen? I mean, like Michael Dukakis, he failed miserably. He didn't run again. And Mitt Romney, and they don't sit there and say, "Oh, I got smoked. I'm going to run again." Like
she's in debt. She has to run again and make up that money.
Yeah, they're begging donors to help her pay off her debt. You think if she runs again, she'll give $10 million to Beyonce and $2.5 million to Oprah and $1.8 million to Eminem? You think those were smart moves? She was the worst candidate we've ever seen. There is nobody wants her.
I saw a meme that was very funny. It was like, yeah, you rented Oprah for $2.5 million, and Donald Trump put a sticker on a garbage truck.
That's true. I saw that. Quote, "She proved a lot of skeptics wrong as a political athlete, and her standing with the public is as good as any Democrat with the name ID she has," a Harris ally told Politico. Oh, sure. What a political athlete. She was so good at answering that, that shocking gotcha question. How are you different than Joe? Which she was asked repeatedly and never could give an answer. God, I encourage her. You know what? You're still young, Kamala. You're only 60. Do it. Announce today. You're running again in 2028. We miss you. We want you back. All right. Before we go, I teased it enough. Lots of people have suffered breakdowns, mental breakdowns. If you're on social media. If you're on X, you see them. Lots of them are leaving X, moving abroad. Ellen and her wife moved to England because she couldn't handle Trump's victory and because the Diddy files may be coming out soon. Eva Longoria said she was moving. She was out of this country. All kinds of Democrats have quit X, like Mika and Joy Reid, and you name it. They're all bailing on X, but nobody has suffered quite like Rob Reiner. Yes, meathead. This is one of those tweets where you say, oh, 11:23 p.m. he tweeted, so it might be a drunk tweet, but Rob Reiner not just announced that he was leaving X or leaving the country or whatever, he's checking into a facility. Yes. Quote from Meathead, I've made the decision to take the next few days to check into a facility for peace and relaxation. No phones, no social media, no trolls, just calmness to heal my pain. Oh, God, to heal his pain. God, it's just so sweet. It is just so delicious. Why is he in pain? Because Donald Trump will be president? What? That's an abstract. Like, what's a concrete thing, a specific thing that makes him feel such pain? That he'll close the border, that he'll improve the economy, that maybe he'll end these stupid foreign wars, that I don't know, that that he won't go to jail. Is that why Rob Reiner is so upset? What is specifically happening to him? That maybe his taxes will go down, that prices will go down, that mortgage. What affects Rob Reiner so much that he feels actual physical pain and has to check into a facility? All I can picture is like Cuckoo's Nest. Is he going to be sitting there in group therapy and go, evil orange man, he's president. I just can't handle it. What a child. I mean, obviously, I would be upset if Kamala Harris had won. I would feel bad for my country. But I don't think I would need to check into a facility for peace and relaxation and to heal my pain. God, that is great. That is like, that thing belongs in the Louvre right there, that tweet. He needs calmness to heal his pain. Well, I can't wait till he gets out of the facility, because you know what's going to happen? Donald Trump's going to be inaugurated, sworn in office. Joe Biden has said he will be there. He will be there to pass the torch, and then everything. Make America great. That's what's going to happen. He's going to make America great. Rob Reiner. All right. Do we have time for Sparrow's mom? You know, sure. Every day we give you reasons. Kamala Harris lost. Donald Trump won. There's so many of them. You know, just the girls and boys and girls sports, and transgender in the military. And I think among swing voters, among undecideds, the number one issue was cultural, was the wokeness. People were fed up with it. They were done with it. And they were looking at this and saying, we have to stop. We have to turn back the clock. We can't continue down this path. And you see these videos on social media and just go, who are these people? Where are these people? This is a woman who is boasting that her child named Sparrow has no gender, was not assigned a gender at birth. These people get to vote. This is to me as big an issue. It was as big an issue in the election as anything. People saw women like this and said, we are on a really dark path in this country. This is child abuse, and this woman is proud to be a child abuser. She's bragging that her baby, I think it's a boy, will not have a gender. Yeah. How does that? I mean, to me, it's just cruelty. Your number one instinct, your most base, primal instinct as a parent is protect your child.
Yep.
This woman is going to make her child's life so difficult.
And when you're watching this, notice who isn't in this video.
They're never. I know where you're going. They are never in the video. If they are, they sit meekly in the background. This is never driven by dad. Never. Dad is a cuck. Dad is a pathetic weakling, and he's hiding in the corner as mom. And here's the other thing. Who is this about? Is this about Sparrow, this poor little boy? Or is this about Nose Ring Lady, the mother, who's so proud of herself, and she knows that this is, really disturbing to normal, decent people, and she loves it. She is a narcissist. This is all about her. She is a horrible mother and a horrible human being. Watch this.
The gender reveal won't happen anytime soon.
We did not assign a sex at birth, which means when they were born, they had genitals and we know what they are. We just chose to acknowledge that those genitals don't indicate anything about gender.
Meet Sparrow, a smiling, curious, adorable 11-month-old baby.
Is this a baby?
Your next question might be, is Sparrow a boy or girl?
Can I see Elmo?
The answer
Can I see Elmo?
to be determined.
My own mother did not know Sparrow's genitals for the first 3 months, even though she was living with us at the time.
You're doing so good.
Sparrow's parents decided to raise their baby gender neutral, meaning Sparrow will decide gender when older. Even Sparrow's birth certificate says sex unknown.
Unbelievable.
How does that help poor Sparrow? You think Sparrow's a boy, Ironhead? Because I think he's a boy.
I think so.
So Sparrow's not like when she takes her son for a walk and people say, oh, what's his name? Oh, it's a they. That's a plural. That doesn't work. It's a they. It's not how do you explain that to curious neighbors and family members? Oh, no, we don't want Sparrow. We don't want them to have a gender. How does that help? What does that do to help your child? That's your job, to help your child, to raise a healthy child. This woman is determined to raise a confused, mentally confused baby boy, young boy. That is just child abuse. There's no other word for it, child abuse. And that is what people voted against. That's one of the things people voted against on November 5th. But we voted against lots of things, like nuclear war and 20 million illegal aliens, but also against Sparrow's mom, that freak. But all right, that will do it for today. What a wild day. Maybe we'll be at war. Maybe there'll be a nuclear war for before tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe it'll happen on Thanksgiving. We can all sit back, watch football, watch war, watch nuclear war. That's what Joe Biden's working on. We'll see if he gets it done. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is the Callahan Show, and we'll do it again tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Is she crazy?
Thank you. Thank you
Wow.
all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, too many.